right, Stephen Kotsanlee, it's nice to have you join with us to tell us a little bit about punting, about the special teams and everything. But first off, what was that like last year to be a guy who you hoped maybe you could just watch the team move up and down the field and you'd enjoy football games and wins and things like that? What was that like?
Well, that's obviously the plan going in every season. Just be nice to have the best seats in the house to watch the team do their thing. And obviously compared to 2020, my punts per game went down, so I had the fortunate chance to just watch the boys play, and there were some exciting games to sit back and relax, or not even relax, I guess. So there was definitely some heart.
No, you guys left them all to the end before
exactly.
you decided most of the time. Until the end of the year, those last two games.
Got to keep everyone on their toes, so that's the fun part. But being part of the special teams unit and seeing how we also work together, it's always enjoyable every single year. And it's no different this year as well. Again, hopefully we're doing more field goals than punts this year. That's for sure. Yeah.
Stephen, what is it about Australian guys that have turned out to be great punters in college football? What is it?
Well, we play a sport called Australian football back in Australia, and the main skill is kicking. So to score, you have to kick. To pass, you have to kick. So I guess the best way to put it is, instead of here in America where you grow up playing catch with your dad in the backyard with a baseball or football, we'd grow up having a kick. So we'd go and we'd kick to kick one another, and through that you just sort of develop a regular sort of motion through kicking. And with that sort of translates into the need to punt, and also a whole variety of different punting styles that we can bring to the game too. Yeah.
You can tell at certain spots you can kind of kick the ball a little different, or it's not all one same motion all of the time for whatever is needed, right?
Absolutely not, and that's something we want to bring into the game plan is, well, instead of just punting for field position, how about we punt and try to get the ball back and help out the offense? Yeah.
I mean, and how much have you improved since you even came to Utah State the very first day?
A lot, or I like to think so. Anyways, the first sort of game I played in 2020 was my first ever collegiate game, and the amount of questions I had during that whole season and even through last year, there was a lot, and there's still a lot that I'm learning and understanding. It's actually great to continuously be a student of the game, but my understanding of, and I guess my comfort level on the field has definitely shot up. So I don't feel as many nerves or jitters. I think you sort of go in with a different kind of mindset and game plan, and that's was really helpful for last season. Yeah.
You were just put on the Ray Guy watch list for the only punter in our conference that's on that. Have you Googled Ray Guy? Do you understand who Ray Guy was?
Absolutely. That was one thing that our coaches back in Australia, Nathan Chapman and Johnny Smith, really put into our heads, is understanding who this guy is, who Ray Guy was or still is, and he's the guy. He's the absolute king of punting. And I was actually fortunate enough to meet him on a Australia trip 2-3 years ago. Actually, wow, time flies. But understanding the importance of that, and it's great for recognition. But the whole point is to win the thing. So we'll see what happens.
Do you know Ray Guy has history in this stadium? He kicked the longest college field goal at that time against Utah State in this stadium, but his first punt ever blocked in college football was in that end zone to the south end, and we beat Southern Mississippi in that game when he was their punter.
I mean, no surprise. The Maverick is a different place, There's a bit of
pressure. Do you have any idea that happened here?
I did not. That's an amazing fact, and it's insane to even be in a place that he was, and obviously for the punters out there, you don't want that happening, especially to the great Ray Guy. But for all the Aggie fans and a bit of bias myself, then hey, that's okay with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what then? What do you? I mean, how do you do the off season compared to everybody else? I mean, obviously, strength and weights and agility, I think, has to have something to do with it. You're moving around quite a bit when you're getting those snaps nowadays at punter.
Well, the great thing is, I know a lot of other teams, that special teams and the specialists don't really mingle with the offense and defense. But with our program and what Coach Jackson and Coach Anderson have put in, we all work with the team. We do the same thing the team does. We lift the same weights, run the same runs. And I think that's great for sort of getting us to interact with the boys, because sometimes I can imagine the specialists are almost seen as outcasts. But here, any opportunity we get to be with the team and work on what we can do while staying with the boys is a fantastic opportunity and really helps our relationship and trust, really, because it's not just us three out there or not just Jacob and I out there. It's, there's a bunch of other guys as well who do their part in that unit, whether it's field goal, kickoff or punt. And their trust and their excitement is what needed to keep us safe as specialists, So we're very thankful to be with the team, essentially, for the off-season workouts.
So are you in great shape to go into this year, then, punting?
I like to hope so. I like to hope so. It's always tough because you have a great off-season. We punt pretty frequently and as a unit, just working on our own craft. But whether that translates to the field, we'll see on game day.
How many punters do we have in our program?
We have 2 currently, is myself and Ryan Marks. Yeah.
Okay. And then field goal wise, we've still got Connor Coles is still on the team. What does it look like there?
It's looking good. Connor is, I don't even know what bloody year he's in right now. He's been here forever, but he seems to be ready for the year to come. He's been doing a lot of work in the off season, and I think we all have. So it's actually going to be an exciting time to see who steps up between him and Elliot during fall camp. I think it's a battle we're looking forward to. And I guess we'll just got to wait and see. That's the fun part.
Elliot was doing the kickoffs last year for the most part in that. So going into this year, what's your feelings about this Aggie football team?
Honestly, it's so tough because there's no real preseason games. You can't see how our team shapes up against another opponent. It's always us versus us. But the feeling I've had in this sort of side is kind of the same that we had last year. It's almost some sort of like a quiet determination. We're not loud and about it. Where, as I can recall, there were no Utah State players in any of the first or second Mount West preseason teams.
You probably should have been, but I'm sorry.
There were plenty of guys that should have been, but that kind of stuff is motivating for us, and it's more fuel in the fire. So it's a quiet confidence that we trust the process and we trust the work that we put in, the exact same as it was last season. It's the same mindset to, last year, 2020, hey, that didn't matter. We're on today. We're on this time. Last year, we won. This year, it's okay, reset. It doesn't matter anymore. So it's the same drive and same confidence I can sense amongst the boys, yeah.
I was going to ask, do you have any idea how many Australians are punting in college football now? Have you ever tried to add that up or look at that, or is it a big number now?
I haven't personally, but I know there is, I'd say, if I'm wrong, I'd say even 60 odd guys around the country. There's a lot of guys, not just in FCS, but FBS as well, and they're all sort of scattered everywhere, essentially, in places you wouldn't even think of. And that's kind of the fun part. You sort of have mates everywhere you go, and we're connected by this sport and by the program we came through. And I think there's a guy just signed in Weber. There's someone. There was an Aussie in Utah. I think there's actually going to be another one in Utah. So there's guys everywhere, and some of my best mates play in Texas, and it's great to see them all succeed. It's again, when that watch list comes out and you see the names of someone that you trained with back in Australia, it's exciting stuff, and it's always a nice way. I know that bloke, so it's good to see him succeed.
What's the best game, Australian football or American football?
I love Aussie rules, mate. I can't, It's just a different thing. I've born and bred in it. You can thank my dad. He signed me up for a membership before I was even born. So growing up, I've always had a footy in my hand, and I've got one in my locker, so you can't really take that out of me. I stay up till, I guess coaches should know this, I stay up till 3 a.m. to watch games, and it's religion, essentially. But that doesn't take away my love for the Aggies and the passion for this sport that I found. And also you can thank my little brother for that, because he just, I don't know how he got into it, but he just loved American football and still loves it today. And he's really gotten my whole family into it. My dad is probably bigger of an Aggie fan than I am. He finds out things even way before I look up. I'm like, how do you know about that? And the whole family's really into it, and that's fantastic to see, because they're watching games from however many miles from the other side of the planet, and they're hardcore Aggies as well. So I'll have great love for both sports, but sorry, Aussie rules has to take the cake there. Yeah.
Stephen, great to have you on our team, and have a good year. Hope you don't punt a lot, but I hope you punt very effectively, no blocks, okay?
Yes, sir. It's been my absolute pleasure to be here, and that's kind of the position. As much as I love being out there, I don't want to be out there. So, we'll see. Be a good one. I understand for sure.
Thanks, Stephen.
Thank you.